What up, people of the internet? My name is Butch the Plug, and welcome back to the channel. Now, this video is a long time in the making right here. As you guys can see by the footage in the background, it's all about Ghost of Tsushima today. Now, Ghost of Tsushima is, without a doubt, one of my favorite games of all time. When it released on the PlayStation a few years back, I thought that Sucker Punch outdid themselves with this title, and it's so good and it's so fun to run around the world of Tsushima as our protagonist Jin Sakai. And gathering footage for this video, I was finishing up some sections on the Iki Island expansion, which was a part of the director's cut of Ghost of Tsushima. I went back to the main story because even though I'd beaten the main story a while back, there were still some things that I hadn't yet finished, and so some side quests I hadn't done, just some mini ones where you fight off bandits and help retrieve food and small things like that. Nothing too big, nothing to brag about, but it really did enlighten my love for the game. And that's just on the story mode side of things. And I can do a whole video talking about the story mode and revisiting it like I kind of want to do in the future. But today, it's not about the story mode. Today is about Legends. If you guys haven't heard of the Legends mode is the multiplayer of Ghost of Tsushima. It baffles me that some people still didn't know or forgot that Ghost of Tsushima even had a multiplayer mode. It kind of reminds me of how The Last of Us was with factions, how people did not or weren't aware that The Last of Us had a multiplayer mode, especially when it's fleshed out as that one. But I was thinking about this video for a while, and how just Legends, when it came out, it almost feels like a fever dream now, because when it came out, I remember when it first came out, me and a bunch of my friends, we played it relentlessly for weeks, and then they added story mode to the online Legend multiplayer and everything, and then it just kind of went away. And again, in gathering footage for this video and going in and playing it again, I was surprised that the servers were still surprisingly active. You know what I mean? This video to me is I felt inclined to make, because it's one of my raw videos. The past few videos I've made have been somewhat scripted. This one is kind of just me talking about the game, and hopefully you guys enjoy the footage in the background of me barely getting by these waves of enemies. But well, I mean, I guess we'll just talk about it. I mean, there is a story mode which came a bit later after the Legends mode, but it's still so much fun. It's quite, I wouldn't even say it's similar to the actual story mode of the game, but it really is its own thing. Like if the Legends story mode was its own game, or even like a DLC part of the story, it would still be just as good. And what makes this even better is that you get to play it with your friends, or even with random people who just so happen to be beating the story mode just like you. It comes with its own rewards and benefits. And I gathered a bit of footage in the back, because even to this day I haven't beaten it, because as I mentioned earlier, I had stopped playing it. You have the choice of 4 different characters to choose from. You can be a samurai, you can be an assassin, you can be a hunter, or my personal favorite, which is my main set, is the Ronin. Each one of them has their own personal abilities, but samurai, of course, is a swordsman. They're more familiar with the katanas and blades and whatnot, and they're more skilled at fighting. Hunters are better at ranged weapons, or you get benefits and bonuses when using ranged weapons. It's just kind of their expertise, mainly like bows and darts. Assassins are great at stealth and sneak attacks. But for me, like Ronins, like they're good at healing, keeping people alive, you know. But they all still perform kind of the basic same way, I think. and they're all very fun to play as. I have a class of each of them, as I think I'm showing off in the background here. But I prefer to use the Ronin because it's just I feel like everyone was gonna pick like the assassin or the samurai, and so I tried to think outside the box. But also the Ronin, a lot of the attires that they use and a lot of their upgrade perks in their tree are really fun to play around with. But that's on the character side of things and the story mode side of things. The actual Legends multiplayer, the idea of you and your friends, or again other random people, in these maps where you can be on a boat, a deserted island, you know, a castle, sort of like a abandoned, you know, island fortress, so, you know, a lot of these other cool maps that they have, and just surviving waves and waves of Mongols and enemy, and enemy samurai and enemy, you know, assassins. It's really fun. It's really fun. Again, gathering footage for this video, I felt it. I felt that tenseness, that sense to, you know, you get overwhelmed. You know, there was some footage I didn't include because it didn't work out, but before these games, I played a game and we easily got overrun by a bunch of these Mongols. They kind of came in, but luckily the next game I paired with a group of people that were quite skilled at the game and were good, and we made it all the way to the end. And there are 3 tiers of difficulties, like bronze, silver, and gold, to play around with. Gold, of course, being for more experienced players, or bronze being for more entry-level and beginner players. I'm playing at silver just so I can have a fairly balanced challenge. And the matchmaking, of course, every one of them are playing at silver as well. With me being a Ronin, my special involves revolving everyone if they're down, plus the added perk of when they get up, they have a regenerative healing, which is also great. I'm trying to think of some more things that just makes Legends so great besides it just being really, really fun. It's one of those things where I akin it to, and I wasn't around during this era, but almost like a Black Ops 2 style game mode. No matter how old that game gets, I feel like the fan base for it and the overall presence of that game will still be felt because of how fun it is. And for something like this, and this might be kind of hypocritical of me, but I feel like this game should be played every single day because it's so good. And you know, the Legends, you know, when it first came out, it still kind of, sorry about that noise, it kind of went under the radar a bit, you know. And you know, when it first came out, it's almost like when it first came out, everyone was drawn to it. It brought everyone back to Ghost of Tsushima, and then the director's cut also brought everyone back to Ghost of Tsushima. So Legends was kind of hype around that point. Like if you look at it like a graph, it's like things were going up, and then it started really declining. It's almost like a cyberpunk. Like, you know, you get a cyberpunk, and like the players spike, and you know, and then sorry about the noise again, and then it kind of goes down, and hey, sorry about that weird cut, guys. I had to deal with that, whatever that weird noise was. But yeah, this game mode, honestly, I mean, if you're watching this video, you obviously remember it, and Legends is still just as fun. Getting back on here and just fighting waves of Mongols with your blade, with your smoke bombs, with your kunai, with your you know, throwing dirt in their face, you know, doing standoffs, and not even just people. Sometimes the enemies will bring, you know, animals with them, and bring, you know, kind of people that, I forgot what they call them. They like just chant these, they like cast these spells on you and kind of give them more health and make them stronger, and it easily adds a challenge every wave. And speaking of adding challenges every single wave, it adds different modifiers, you know, like any other wave like game might add, almost like a killing floor, where some waves you'll have, you know, exploding enemies, or, you know, poison gas that happens when you kill an enemy, which adds an extra layer of challenge, an extra layer of fun to the game. You can continue to fight them off with your teammates, going back and forth with them. There's usually, well, there are always 3 different points three different zones that you need to protect, and 4 of you playing, so it's always fun to bounce back and forth and looking out for your teammates, seeing who needs help, and constantly being on the move. As opposed to some games, there's a cooldown period, but it's not as big as others. Another cool thing about the Legends mode is that they have a section with purchasable items that you can use to give you an advantage in gameplay, like spirit animals, setting your enemies on fire, giving all of your teammates full ammo, and that you spend that with the currency you make, just dealing damage and killing enemies and acquiring those points wave after wave after wave. The bare minimum wave is 15, depending on how, if you want to go to our difficulty. I think the max is like 20-25 waves, which just, if you're up for the challenge, I definitely recommend it, because I did it once with my buddies, and it definitely adds a challenge, you know what I mean? And they recently added another mode, like a survival type mode, where it's you and just one other person on different sections. And I didn't record footage of this, but in talking about it, I remember the last thing I played was that mode, and it's basically you and one other person, and you're on an island with 2 separate islands, but it's like you're working together, but it's also you're challenging one another to complete these challenges and clear off the Mongols before the other one, and as fast as you can. And it's things like that that makes Legends should be so memorable to me, because it really is fun. You know, I've been hopped up on the Overwatches. I play Overwatch just about every day. I play the online. You know, you have your Call of Duties, and I play my Killing Floors, and you have your Fortnites. These online multiplayer that people play every day. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima Legends should be added onto that list, and that's why I feel it is forgotten. So, yeah, this video is kind of an homage to that, and Sucker Punch for making such a great multiplayer. They didn't have a multiplayer for Infamous Second Son when they dropped that years ago, so to kind of go out of their way, because they do single player stuff, and the single player and the story mode is phenomenal, and it is great, and for them to dip their toe into the realm of multiplayer game modes and to have it be as fun and robust and engaging as it is, I think deserves more attention, not only for me, but for the people that love Ghost of Tsushima. So if you haven't played Legends in a while, I definitely recommend turning on your console and playing it. PS4, PS5, doesn't matter. Go out and play Legends right freaking now. With that being said, guys, it is really late. For those of you who've been with me for a long time, talking to the OGs right now, for those of you who've been with me for a long time, I have a habit of making videos really, really late. Now, I'm going to call it. I don't think this video is going to be posted on Monday, but if it is, just know I worked on it for hours, guys. As you guys have probably noticed, for those of you who made it this far, thank you so much for watching. The past few videos have always been uploaded on a Monday, trying to keep up my streak. I have a literal list of videos that are going to be coming out in the future. This one feels kind of not really in the way, but it does kind of feel like this one is a placeholder, because even though I wanted this video to come out, and I'm glad it is, and it is what I wanted it to be, this wasn't the next video I have planned as my next video, but this just means I have more time to work on those videos, so please expect more in the future. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, comment what you thought about it, comment on what you want me to talk about next, do next, see next. Tell me what you guys think about Ghost of Tsushima. Tell me guys what you think about Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Tell me how you think, did I do a great job describing it? What else do you want to hear me talk about? And what else you guys want to see? I said that already, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.